Welcome to the Suzanne and Sarah Real Estate Investing Podcast, where strategy meets hustle and your real estate goals turn into reality. Where Suzanne and Sarah, investors, agents, and your go-to team for smart strategies, honest insights, and plenty of laughs along the way. Whether you're flipping, renting, or just starting out, we're here to help you invest smarter and live better. So let's dive in because the best time to invest is now. Welcome back to the Suzanne and Real Estate Investing Podcast.
We are two passive income obsessed ladies building wealth in Bend, Oregon and beyond, and we are bringing you along for the ride. So we're just diving right in as usual. Quick life update. I spent most of the last week at a real estate investor conference in Louisville, Kentucky, which was so amazing. And I connected with so many people that are doing great deals across the country, getting properties below market value, sometimes at 50% below, sometimes even better. And they're doing things creatively. And it's just so inspiring to meet a lot of them I've known now for 2 years since I've been in this mastermind group. Yeah. And I also met with people that are looking for private money. So borrowers, folks doing these deals that need to keep the pipeline full and keep things rolling. And then some lenders as well. Talk to a lot of folks that are like, hey, you can make double-digit returns on your money like in 6 months. Sign me up. So had a lot of good conversations there and met with some really high level developers and institutional lenders who are looking for good partners and good deals to place their money and work with. So yeah, definitely some big high level players as well that are getting us to think bigger, as you'll hear about more on today's podcast. So I'll just say it was inspiring, and I always walk away from these events thinking bigger and bringing back that energy to our team so that we can do the same.
Heck yeah. Kentucky is a world away from Central Oregon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's
Beautiful
where
in its own way. Absolutely.
you guys typically meet there in Louisville.
Yeah, we've done Louisville. They try to switch it up too. So we've done Phoenix. The next one will be in Florida. So definitely a little variety.
Heck yeah. While Suzanne was off expanding her mind and hopefully everyone's pocketbooks here eventually, I was doing the real estate hustle here in Central Oregon. Things are heating up, but when she was back in Oregon, I technically took 4 days off. That was on the calendar, but let's be real, it wasn't exactly a full shutdown. That's just not the season of life I'm in necessarily. And so when I say I take time off right now, for me, it means that I created space to choose to do what I want to do and to work on what I want to do, because my version of relaxing is not everyone's version of relaxing. And that's what it looks like right now. But that being said, I have bigger visions for what relaxing looks like, and it's all for that end goal. And in the meantime, I did sneak in some much needed family time in Portland. We just did a 24-hour getaway, did some unplugged-ish at McMiniman's Edgefield, which if you haven't checked out that franchise, it is such a cool place. They take these old historic buildings, schools, just more commercial type buildings and renovate them in really funky ways. And they're just like whole experiences. They're like adult playgrounds. They're really fun. So while it wasn't necessarily like a full recharge, it was something. And I'm working on creating more of those full disconnect moments in my life. And I've also realized that just having little weekends here and there are super helpful too. Yeah, you don't need a full giant block off at a time, and just going and running and doing something fun, getting out of town can be enough. So
Exactly. That's like my trip a couple weeks ago to go to Davis Lake, where I did truly unplug because there's zero cell service there for 24 hours. And that was just enough to feel rejuvenated. So glad you got some time off in Sarah fashion.
It's all good. Here for it all.
Yeah. On to our business and market updates. Things are heating up all across the real estate market in all of Oregon. Actually, it's been really interesting because some of our clients are putting offers in Portland and near Mount Hood, and I'm investing in Hood River. So we're actually probably more aware of the broader Oregon market right now than we have been in the past, just because there's a lot of crossover. So people are looking at opportunities in a variety of places. And I think this energy in the real estate market is fueled by a lot of relief that some of the tariffs have been rolled back, because that definitely rolled back a lot of our investment accounts. And so things are looking slightly less dismal than they were a few weeks ago when we all looked at our accounts and were like, what happened? And even though it's losses on paper, like we still feel it, right? Or some of us are just afraid to even look at the balances. I can relate to that. But we feel it regardless, right? So there's definitely more activity across the board. And we have even been hearing about some appraisal gap coverage coming back in offers that are ultra competitive, like a cabin up in Mount Hood that buyers offered on. They lost out to somebody that offered $65K over asking with $25,000 in appraisal gap coverage. So these are offers we have not seen since COVID time. So it's really interesting to see it go from meh and then just shoot up right here in May, because March and April were slow, honestly, for real estate. I think all of us felt that and was just like, oh, what's going to happen this year? And like now we're in May and it's okay, back to normal, spring peak time.
That's right. And while those special homes, as we know, always move fast, and still the well-priced ones are moving even faster now. For example, we had a stick-built listing that we put on, like a distressed property that we put on the market in La Pine. Let's just be honest. In La Pine this past week at $219K was the asking price. And even at that price, we were pretty sure like average days on market were going to be a couple months at least. We're going to be matching average days on market for that particular property. But in a couple days, we had a ton of activity, and we already had a cash offer that locked it up in less than a week. So that was interesting. Maybe it's just the price point, but we've seen it in a couple of our other listings that are more unique as well. As we are seeing everything that is even slightly overpriced or harder to finance, like some condos that we know of that have been sitting longer than they like to or usually do, especially like the Sun River market right now is super soft. We have to be putting in, it's not just putting it up on the MLS, like we're putting in extra effort these days to get our listings attention when we put them out the gate. Like that's the most important time to be putting this attention in. And for us in these particular situations, in these markets that are a little bit softer like Sun River, or homes on acreage that are a little bit harder to sell, we're doing extra special things like staging with our own props, even when the seller isn't providing these things, like adding plants and greenery, looking at historic listing photos and picking out what have been the problems in the past and fixing them right away. In these cases, just a mess, right? Like things like cords being hidden, lighting being off, even just some bigger projects like some interior painting and updates. We've been recommending sellers do some more improvements than we normally would recommend in order to get their houses listed, especially if they're wanting the top dollar in terms of what we recommend for listing price. We're saying, hey, that's not going to happen unless you do X, Y, and Z. And our sellers, the people we are choosing to work with, the people that are aligned with us, are receptive and they're grateful for the suggestions, because we all understand and know that first impressions are everything in this industry, especially when it comes to marketing material for listings. So we're going the extra mile. We're thinking outside the box for sure on lots of different properties that we have.
And it makes a difference. Sarah's a total stickler for the random cord not being in the photos and having all the lights on and just making sure things look absolutely perfect for photography day, because as we all know, where are we looking at real estate? Like right here. And how fast are we scrolling through a bazillion things a second, right? So you got to grab someone's attention immediately with those photos, and having the cord, while we might not register that consciously when we're looking at these photos, it just makes it look messy. So that's what I love about Sarah. We were going to use some existing short-term rental photos for the listing on this particular property that she went out and staged, to the tune of putting random Home Depot plants in the back of her Jeep to get them out there, which was a fun picture that will be on Instagram at some point, I'm sure. And like those things just make a huge difference. Like they totally made that place come alive, literally, from what and it looked good before. That's the thing. Like, it looked good, but now it looks amazing.
Yeah. I'm picky, and it's good to hang out with people that are picky because it'll translate to your sale in the end, I promise.
Yes.
All right. What else? Let's talk about some Primo.
Yeah. So we have welcomed our first Primo Private Money Academy members, and we have invitations out to a few more to join our founding circle. So we are hitting the ground running, you guys. And I just got off a call with somebody with some big opportunities paying big returns, not only in interest, but also equity. And there's just so much opportunity for our private money lenders to make good money passively and be working with good operators, people doing deals that know what they're doing and are successful and have a track record of success. So it's just super exciting. And for all of you listening, we will be hosting a free meetup event on the private money lending topic on June 19th from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be sharing more about how private money lending can help you earn a six-figure passive income, and you don't need millions to get started. So do not let that be a deterrent for you. Do you need $1 million to create a six-figure pipeline? No. Is $20,000 going to do it? Not probably a six-figure pipeline, but you can absolutely start private lending with 20 grand. Sometimes even less, but we're just going to say 20 grand is a nice threshold to get you in. And these are a few $1,000 you might just have sitting in your account. You're waiting for the next deal to buy, right? Like, maybe you're still a flipper, renovator, investor, long-term hold kind of person, but you haven't found the deal. And now we're in the height of springtime and it's too expensive. You're more of like a December, January buyer for those best deals. Put that money to work for the next 6 months while you're looking for that good deal. Earn 15% and have more money in your pocket to buy maybe a better deal when those things come along in the winter. So lots more to come on the topic. We're so excited to be sharing more about private money lending and how you can earn money with secure investments by helping good operators snag great deals all over the country.
So our last episode, we talked about expanding our team and that we've been working on our plan in the background while we're getting Primo up and running because we're adding more to our plate, right? So we need to expand our team. And really, this is an opportunity we see to provide more support for our clients who are looking to buy and sell properties. And part of this is ramping up for this expansion, and our offerings are expanding as well. Our goal in the next few months really is to create a cohesive team. And this team is being built really on aligned values, dedication to service, and speed that has helped us been so successful. It's been so fun to plan this, all the fine details, fine tuning it behind the scenes, and also just really visioning what is important as part of a team and like the foundations of a team to establish it and keep it going for a long time in a quality way. We've developed what I think are some really unique value add propositions for people we'll be inviting to our team and some really intriguing incentive programs. So these programs, our goals are going to be, it's built around encouraging production, of course, income and production for the team, but also longevity and communication, just good communication, really. I think all of us we all align around an abundance mindset, and we prioritize health and wellness and exercise. These are all just like really important things that we know about ourselves as in our partnership, and things that contribute to our own vitality and our own success and our own expansion over the past few years together. And so it's just, been really fun analyzing these things, defining them, writing them down, and systemizing them to a point where we can, attract the right people to continue to build what we've started. So for us, these are the cornerstones of what it takes to be a successful person and build a successful business. And this is just how we operate. And this is how we bring our best every day. And it's going to be so fun pitching this to people that we've been working with for a while and vetting already. And this is another time when we're going to get real picky about who we spend our time with and who we allow into our inner circle. But just really excited to have more people on our team to share the love with, really, and introduce to you guys, just help support in the ways that you need support as we get to know you.
Yes, and I'm just so excited about how thoughtful we've been about this, because we've talked to quite a few people who have built their teams basically by accident. And we're being very diligent and having a lot of forethought in how we do this, talking to people and learning from their successes and challenges in building their team. That brings us into our topic of the week, which is thinking bigger. And as I said, this was also the theme of the first day of my real estate conference, which was just for the mastermind members and introducing us to some of these really high level players to get us all to start thinking bigger than the onesie twosie deals, and thinking in terms of portfolios and building up enough in the pipeline to attract institutional investors, like big time stuff. As we think bigger after this conference, I think we're really, like I said, excited about building out this stellar team of assistants. And Sarah and I, when I was reflecting on it, thinking about our podcast today, like we started very mindfully, even in the very beginning, with our first part-time licensed assistant. She was a mentee of ours. She had come up, we actually all joined the brokerage at the same time. And so we knew that we had a lot in common in terms of just mindset and approach and all that. So she was our first one. And then we brought in a marketing assistant, and then we brought in a transaction coordinator. And so we've been diligently and mindfully building our team over the last 3 years. And now we're just excited to think bigger so that we can expand our scope and our reach and our influence within the Central Oregon community and beyond. And more than that, thinking bigger is also about just beyond helping people buy and sell real estate, and expanding into helping people understand the opportunity for true passive income with the private money lending opportunity. And as I said at the beginning, we are two gals obsessed with creating passive income because it fuels freedom in our life to do what we want to do with our time. And so we want this passive income for ourselves, and everything that we learn, we are then funneling into the PRIMO Private Lending Academy to share with our students, because ultimately that is why 95% of people get into real estate, passive income. We all want to not have to trade our time for money. And as we also know, as former flippers and some more recently than others, like flipping in real estate is not passive. It is very active. Private money lending is truly that more passive, like among the most passive ways to make money in real estate. As I said, we're also making connections with folks like those national developers, those institutional lending partners, private bankers who have options that the typical investor likely does not even know about. Honestly, I can say some of these things I didn't even know about until last week. That's the deal. That's why we invest 5 figures a year into learning with some of the best and brightest minds in the business so that we can pass that value along to the folks in our community.
And from the origin, it all starts with the why. And for me, thinking bigger is about building our business around the life that we actually want to support. Building our business to support our life that we want to live, right? So for me, that means more time with my kids, more travel, more freedom. Honestly, like just sparking the joy, right? Like the little things, walking out in the sunshine and just not having to, think about my phone being on. And historically, for me, it's been stepping out of, in the past 10 years, past decade, for me, it's been stepping out of survival mindset and into strategy. I don't want to just grind endlessly. I love what I'm doing now, but what we are learning and building and setting up now is a platform so we don't have to grind endlessly when we don't want to. We can choose to grind now, but in the future, we don't have to if we don't want to. And this is about building assets that make money when you're not on. Like this is the stuff where when your phone is in whatever, do not disturb mode, or you're taking those 4 days off, like your bank account is still accumulating dollars. And for us, it's not just about real estate. It's a bigger picture thing. It's brand building, it's affiliate marketing, it's content that lives on forever. It's partnerships with like-minded people that open new doors. And we've been coaching our clients to think the same way. That's what we do. When people come to us, we don't just talk to them about like the house they want to buy. We talk to them about like their bigger picture plan and their vision and their why. Because like you don't just come here with us to sell a home. I'm sorry. If you want to just come sell a home, like we can be transactional, that's fine, but like I can do that. It's just not as fulfilling. I'd like people to get a little bit more out of it. Yeah, we just want everybody to be thinking about what they're doing in real estate as part of a bigger vision, zooming out. So I think what's most exciting is that we're all doing it together in real time, and we're not just speaking theory, we're testing, we're learning, we're growing along with you, and we're sharing it as we go.
Yes, I love that, Sarah. Love that. It is about the life we want to live. And that's you just uncovered the purpose of life right there.
For more advice, please.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on from thinking bigger into our client and industry PSA. This first one is just a shout out to our amazing lender partners, because follow up is a team effort. And we have so many clients in our pipeline, and not everyone is ready to make a move right when we first meet them. Some people have been in our system for years, honestly. And this week has been a week of some of those years long efforts coming to fruition, and it's so exciting. And we just love seeing those people finally convert to, I'm ready to look at houses, I'm actually ready to write an offer. But it takes time, right? Follow up, like I said, is a team effort, and it's also about consistency, because we have a system for frequent touch bases through our CRM and just through our own brains and remembering and thinking of people when we find homes that are on the market. But it also helps when we have another teammate out there that has our back and is our trusted partner who stays in touch with our potential buyers. And that's exactly what happened this week. As one of our buyers' timelines got moved up, their lease ended sooner than they had thought it would, or sooner than we thought it would. And their first call, though, was not to us. It was to the lender. So that was great, because then he was like, hey, you guys, they're back. Call them. Let's get things rolling. So that was so fun, because we had been introduced to them over 2 years ago. And the cool thing was that within less than 24 hours of hearing from the lender that they came back out of the woodwork, we've got showings set up for them. We are ready to take them from we're not in a rush to let's make this happen before our lease is up. So that's a great shift and so exciting. And we love when this happens, and just want to say again how grateful we are to our lender partners who also help keep our clients warm and simmering while they sort out the life situations that they have to before they make the move to buy.
I love our lender partners. I actually even got another call today from a lender partner
Yes.
who's like, hey, so-and-so is making a move here. Did you know about that? I'm like, I got to go take care of that. So it's just so nice to have that communication and loyalty. Like, again, like that's at the end of the day, that's what all of this is all about. For us, we want clients that are loyal to us. We want to stay loyal to them. And we're totally cool if you come to us and you tell us that you've got someone that you know and trust that you've been working with for a long time. Like, more power to you, but we're here to earn that from you as well, given the opportunity. So moving on, one thing that I learned the hard way this week, yeah, I guess I knew this already, but I was reminded, not everyone moves at my speed. I'm fast. Let's cut to the chase and make things happen fast. Like, I have to be reminded to check in on other things that aren't business, but not everyone is built that way. I guess I'm going to keep having this reminder, but this week I found myself losing patience from call one. I was like already talking to this person like a child, because that's how I felt like I was being communicated with myself. And it turns out they just operate differently than I do. And so these are those opportunities for me to realize that somebody is just functioning on a very different wavelength than I do. And in this case, just moves very slowly, needs a lot of translation and interpretation. And even talking that slow right there already hurts me, honestly. So instead of forcing it or letting myself get totally frustrated and killing the deal, I remind myself of a critical team strength, which is delegation, guys. Okay, so we all have different zones of genius. Sometimes the best way to serve our clients is by not serving them yourself. It's by passing on the baton to somebody whose pace or communication style might be a better fit for that specific relationship. And I'm okay with this. Not everybody's for me. I'm not for everybody. And it doesn't mean I'm giving up on them. It doesn't mean that I don't like them. It's just me being smarter about my energy management and my strengths and making sure that everyone gets the experience that they deserve and the service and the communication that they deserve and that aligns with them to keep things moving forward. So my PSA here is, you know your pace, I know my pace. We'll connect if it works. I'll protect my energy if it doesn't. And even if we don't align, like I promise you, we have someone on our team that does align with you. We have all the strokes for all the different folks, and I'll help you find them. So,
Oh man. Someday we'll have to tell this story. Basically, yeah, I took this call yesterday and it was on speaker and Sarah was sitting next to me and she was like losing her mind, even listening to me talk to this person. And so finally I just put my AirPods in because Sarah could not handle it. It was hilarious. And just again, like we have different strengths. I do well with folks that need a little more patience and slower pace and kind of some of the massaging. I don't know. But Sarah also does so well with the fast-paced people that need a little bit of like more directness and less
kick in the butt is what I call it.
Exactly. Sarah's really good at telling people what to do. I am really good at calming people down. So it's a great balance. And yeah, yesterday was just so fun.
Yeah. We put the deal together. Thank goodness. I was like, I don't even care. This one's definitely going sideways. Anyways, it's all good. Thank you for being there.
Oh, that was so fun.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, let's move to highs and lows of the week. My high was spending a day in the office with Sarah this week. So I was sitting on the couch right next to Sarah, where you see her right now. And it was such a treat because I thought I would be working remotely for about 2 weeks because of some back-to-back trips, but a turn of events brought me back to Bend. And so I got to spend a few precious hours in the office with Sarah, and we got to talk about the big things and thinking bigger. So my Hood River vacation rental purchase, our PRIMO launch strategy and new members, next steps with PRIMO, our team expansion, and we even got 2 clients under contract in the single day, like within, you guys, like 8 hours, we did all of this. We got all of that done in one day. And so I will call that a win any day.
Yeah. All right. So crying this week. I've told you we're getting more specific about the types of clients we work with. And I like to say that we're specific, but this buyer is self-proclaimed difficult. And I'm going to go ahead and say he's my favorite difficult buyer. And I'm going to give him a pass because he knows he's difficult. He has been, vocal about the fact that he's difficult, but he's direct and he knows what he wants. So fine. That's why I'm giving him a chance, right? So this week, my cry was, we finally found this guy a house that I'm sure check 95% of his boxes. Is big because he's like single man downgrading from a 3,400 square foot house. 2,200 square feet is small to him. It's new. It has a great layout for him. It was a great location. He needs 5 to 10 acres, but it was like just slightly over his very healthy budget that he said he was comfortable with. So cue the heartbreak there for me for a second, because I'm starting to question a tiny bit, like self-proclaimed difficult, fine, but it's a balancing act. Like I'm out here trying to manifest the unicorns, and I gave him one with a shiny horn and he already shot it down. So that stings a little bit. It's fine. I'm here for the challenges until I'm over it, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm still confident, but I do have a favorite set of challenging or difficult buyers, and I'll keep you posted on how it goes.
Yes. And that's one thing that you do approach it that way. Is, ooh, they're a challenge. I like this. You have the energy for it, which I love.
Yeah. It's one thing for me if you're a difficult buyer, but you think you're easy, right? There's a discrepancy there. But I'm difficult. I'm going to be a pain in the ass. I'm like, cool, I can get down with that. I understand. You know yourself. Like, I can appreciate that. You're worth me giving you a chance to figure it out.
For sure. That's great. Yeah. Having the self-awareness is step number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Something that I'm grateful for beyond just getting to spend time with Sarah, is my gym, you guys, because getting up at actually 4:30 in the morning, whew, takes a lot of motivation, but having a fun crew to work out with in the morning, seeing improvements in my strength, my flexibility, and my tone are just the motivation that I need to roll out of bed and get in the car and sometimes drive 30 minutes from Lapine to Bend to get to the gym by 5:50 with my day's worth of clothes, food, hot beverages, and all the things that I need. So it's a lot of planning, but starting the day off with exercise and community just absolutely makes my entire day better because it makes it feel longer, number one, which is so awesome because we can get a lot of stuff done in a very short amount of time, as we just talked about. But it makes me feel more productive, and it's really like health for both Sarah and I is something that we value and protect because workout time is sacred and we carve it out of our day so that we can give the best to ourselves, to each other, to our clients, to our team. And that is actually something that we're integrating into the new team structure. Is physical movement is a requirement if you want to be part of our team, because it really is that important. It trickles down to absolutely everything we do all day, our energy, our vitality, our mental health, our mindset around abundance, all the things. Relationships, it's all about how we feel about ourselves. So when you're committing to putting yourself first, literally first thing in the morning, everything else feels better from then on out.
For sure. It's a non-negotiable. And I think, at least for me, for us, I think putting it in the morning for me is a really helpful place to do it because, like you said, it like expands the day and it like just jump starts your day. And I don't know, like for me, when I'm there, I'm like, oh, the hardest part of my day is over. Like now the rest is easy. So that's why I like getting it over with in the morning. Okay. Our laugh of the week comes from our same Goldilocks buyer, the witty, honest, and refreshingly self-aware guy. I just have to share one of the funniest things that I've ever heard a client say to me over text, which was we were sharing some properties back and forth, and he flagged a particular listing we sent him and wrote, "The pics are terrible," and the person used the word bespoke in the description. So that's a $50,000 price reduction right there, right? And I was like, you are spot on, dude. Like, he is like sharp to notice the bespoke language. And I told my husband, he's like, what does bespoke even mean? Like, I use that in a sentence. Like, how do you integrate that? And so I think he caught the ChatGPT word and called it out. And I like his funny critical nature, and I'm with him. Put bespoke in a listing description. That's an automatic discount.
I know. Yeah. Ask 5 people to define the word bespoke, and I bet you'll get 5 different answers or just a blank stare.
Yes. Yep. All right.
Oh, personal investing and portfolio updates. Sarah's section is blank.
We just had a client email us asking me if any of my St. Louis, Missouri properties were affected by the tornadoes. Apparently there's some bad weather happening in the middle of the country. And to my knowledge, not. But what I'll tell you is even if there was damage to my properties, I would not put it past my tenants not to tell me, first of all. Second of all, Matthew, my husband, was telling me about these storms, and my comment was, there's hope. That would be a blessing. So I'll stop there.
Oh, you are hilarious.
No, anyways, actually, so I've been dealing with the property manager who started managing the 4 doors that I sold a couple weeks ago. Because why am I dealing with him? Because he was collecting some rent that I had collected for May from tenants back. So I was like, fine, I'll give you that money. And also, the buyer's agent finally caught on that I hadn't transferred security deposits at closing. I was like, guys,
Didn't write it into
the offer, you dropped the ball there. Nothing's been resolved there yet. I'm here to be helpful and respond if they ask for it. But anyways, we're working that out. But like, I noticed it wasn't on the closing statements, but that's not my problem. That's what buyer's representation is there for. In my opinion, that's an error and omission from the buyer's agent missing that. But that's just my opinion.
Stay strong, Sarah.
Thanks.
All right. Back in renter land, I thought I had a new renter for my 3 Rivers rental on our last episode, and I was so excited because I was like, oh, the tenants move out on May 31st and the new ones want to move in on June 1st. And I was like, yay, 0 vacancy. And I talked to these tenants, I FaceTimed them and did the whole thing because one of them's in Spain and one's in Florida, whatever. So anyways, I spent $135 on rental forms that basically every Oregon landlord needs in order to protect themselves and their investment. And honestly, I think the forms, and by the way, like these are customized forms with their names on them. So do I get to reuse these $135 forms? No, I got to pay again. And honestly, it was like new forms. I had used another attorney approved set of forms in the past, and Sarah just rented out a property. And I was like, oh, maybe I should use the forms that she did. They're a little bit more, I don't know, strict and thorough. So I was like, yeah, let's use these. But anyways, they bailed and that sucked. But the other thing was that they wanted to repaint the cabinets in the house. And we were just like, yeah, hard no, not going to happen. This is not your home. But to that point, I then decided they're like playing like this is their home. So maybe this is where some of our like first-time home buyers or folks who have been like sitting on the sidelines are at right now. Like they want to play house, but they don't have everything they need to do it yet. So I decided to market it as a lease option in addition to a standard long-term rental. So I'll keep you posted on what happens.
Love it. Yeah. That's so funny about scaring them off with the standard forms. If they go with any generic property manager, that's most likely what they'll use. And some property managers have their own standardized forms.
Yeah. I don't know.
They weren't the right fit, Suzanne.
Exactly. I know that it's all for the best, but it was still just like a pain in the ass because I spent a lot of time on it. Checked all the references, did all the things, filled out all the forms, and I was just like, ugh. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we're towards the end and it's time to talk about some actionable takeaways and final thoughts. And for me today, I just want to say, if you're overwhelmed trying to figure out how to scale your business or your investing portfolio, or if you're even just trying to get started, don't know where to start, take a deep breath and then get clear on your why, because bigger isn't always better in this business until it's aligned. And Suzanne and I have started small for a long time and we've slowly been ramping up, and you have to start somewhere. Don't worry about what it looks like in 3 years or 5 years now. Worry about getting started. So that's the moral of the story today.
No paralysis by analysis, right? Is that kind of what you're saying, Sarah? Yeah. Just make a move. Yes. And if you are ready to make real money in real estate without managing flaky tenants who want to repaint your cabinets and bail on you after you've spent $135 on writing up their forms, or the other, whatever, repairs that you have to deal with when you have rentals, then like just become a private money lender. It's really that easy, you guys. PRIMO Private Money Lending Academy is probably the right solution for you, even if you already have tenants, toilets, and teams to deal with. So let's talk. We're here. We have a solution.
Yeah. And ways you can get in touch with us or engage with us. We're active on the socials. So check us out on Instagram at Best Life Bend, or Suzanne is at Suzanne Rose Moore. Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for bonus content. You can watch our podcast on there. And in the show notes, you can sign up for our investor newsletter and our meetups and all the good stuff there.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for listening to the Suzanne and Sarah Real Estate Investing Podcast. We will see you next time with more behind the scenes stories and lots of great tips to help you build your best life through real estate and private money lending. We'll see you next time. Yes.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Thanks for tuning in to the Suzanne and Sarah Real Estate Investing Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, then subscribe and leave us a review, because your feedback helps us reach people like you who are ready to elevate their lives. Don't forget to share this episode with someone who's passionate about real estate or personal growth. And for more tips, resources, and updates, follow us on Insta or visit us at centraloregoninvestornetwork.com. And remember, you have the power to design the life you want, one real estate investment at a time. See you next week.